It's a tremendous Monday in Canada. I'm Dan. This is Kyle. It's a tremendous day because the Toronto Blue Jays have quenched.
Their thirst?
They have quenched a playoff spot. The Blue Jays are into the postseason as they finally beat the Royals in the final game of their series at Kauffman Stadium, the iconic Kauffman Stadium. Um, but just entering the postseason, I think we have all been in agreement. That's not what we want.
I think you're absolutely right about that, Dan. And the post-game celebration, at least the on-field part of it, I think reflected a basic understanding that they would, as a group, agree with us. Just simply clinching the playoff spot seems like it's been an inevitability for the last few weeks. But this is not what they want. They want to win this division. They want a first round bye. They want to see their way out of this wild card nonsense, which they have not been able to do over the years.
A lot happened in that game on Sunday. While many probably watched NFL football, I watched every single second of that game. And let's start with the positives. Vladdy finally had a hit in a big moment.
A big, big moment, a big, big hit that was, 2 feet from being a home run. Just fine. It was a good piece of contact. He sat on an off-speed pitch. He looked like himself, and I bet you he felt a tremendous sense of relief in that moment. The Jays had played absolutely miserably for
Mhm.
those first 2 games of the series, which to me is actually kind of concerning right now. The 20-1 loss, we'll get into Scherzer, we'll get into those things, I'm certain. But big positive news in Vladdy delivering when they needed him most, and also back to the form of the lineup top to bottom delivering. Really, it was a pretty impressive performance by everyone yesterday.
As Buck said, it was what the Jays have been doing all year. That's next man up mentality.
Yes.
Was I alone in this? But the mics, I don't know if they were poorly placed or what was going on at Kauffman, but you could not tell on the broadcast if a ball was hit hard or not. They all sounded like pop-ups.
That's a very interesting point. I had not noticed that, but it's one of those things we take for granted in modern production now,
Yeah.
how big of a part of that it is. Because if you ever watch or listen to a Dodgers game and Shohei hits the ball, it sounds like a shotgun blast going
It's
off. They've got
amazing. I
it's the
sit
most
and watch it
amazing
on
sound.
repeat.
Yeah, it's the most amazing sound in all the sports. But what people don't realize, it's not just it's really good audio technicians making that happen using the correct equipment. There is better sound in Tampa Bay's New York Yankees minor league park than there was at Kauffman yesterday, which is a little bit weird because they've had, 50 some odd years to get it right in Kansas City, and they still don't have that figured out.
Trey Savage, the rookie for the Blue Jays, had his
Yeah.
second start. He was mowing them down the first time through the lineup, then ran into some problems. And the biggest problem was a catch that was ruled not a catch that started a big inning for the Royals as Dalton Varsho dove. They said he trapped a ball. The replays in which we were shown showed he clearly didn't. Buck and Dan were then contemplating, okay, are they going to call a double play here? They knew
Right.
what the call was, and they were befuddled when New York came back and said, yeah, not overturning that.
Okay. First of all, I don't blame the umpire for getting that call wrong in the moment because of the angle of his glove was kind of facing down or immediately spun down. That's totally understandable. Over the last few years, Major League Baseball has instituted change after change after change to attempt to make the game quicker, make it flow faster. The one thing that no longer flows faster is the fact that we have more instant replays. But who argues against getting the calls right? Probably not many people. What I don't understand is in their office where they review these plays, are they not looking at the same camera footage that we're looking at? What the hell is happening? I genuinely don't understand how you could have the access to the same angles we had and not see that was they had the behind him angle, they had the in front of him angle. I think there was a drone shot. They didn't have sound off the bat, as you mentioned. But how do you screw that? Like, can you imagine that cost them the game? It's the most egregious, wrong, no overturn call I've ever seen.
I waded into the comments and people's immediate reaction as is whenever a call goes against your team, they have it. They have it in for the Jays. They They want the Yankees in that bad. I understand how you
Yeah.
feel that. We're the bunch of no-name players. They want a big ticket item winning the AL East, but that does not enter their brains in the decision room in New York. They say, "Yeah, this'll swing the game. I'll show them." It's okay to feel that. Just know that that's not true.
It's I just it's so egregious. It's just I get, yeah, you're right. I get why people would perceive things that way with the big bad Yankees, but I don't really see. Also, we're the no-name people with what, the fifth highest payroll in the major leagues. So we're the no-name because of a geographic location, and that's about it. I just don't. Man, I how much can you go off on something like this? Like, again, the umpires are the least. eh, I'm not mad at them. Like, I that was a very fast bang bang play. As you said in the booth, they're speculating whether they're going to give them the double play on this because it was so obviously. Oh God, I can't. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I do have a conspiracy with regards to review rooms, and that is the NHL. I'm of the belief that they go out of their way in the NHL not to overturn calls because they don't want the refs looking bad. I believe the NHL is a lot more thin-skinned than Major League Baseball. Major League
Yeah.
Baseball is like, these guys, no one knows who they are, uh, don't really care about their feelings. While the NHL and the referees and linesmen probably have communication and a relationship with the people in the NHL review room. So my belief is they don't wanna make their guys look bad. That's my conspiracy theory for the NHL, and it's not that outlandish.
I don't think it's outlandish at all. And to go further with Major League Baseball, not only do they not care if the umpires look bad, they're like, you know what? We're going to put a strike zone box that's the most accurate piece of technology in the world and show just how bad you guys at your are at your job. Guys and gals now are at your job with consistency. Like, they really don't care about umpires. Umpires need to be very careful because, much like most of us with AI, their jobs are disappearing.
We are so accustomed to the strike zone that sometimes on the broadcast, there'll be a glitch and it won't be there for a few pitches, and you're like, "Wait, hey,
Yeah.
where is it? Wh I can't is that strike?"
Yeah.
Just remember I think it's next year when the appeals process comes in, the video review for balls and strikes. I think they said they're getting rid of the box on the broadcast. They're not going to let them use it.
Why?
Why would they do that to us?
I'm not sure, but it
That's,
has to
the
do with
voice of, the
the
disembodied voice
appeal.
is, producer Tim, our long-suffering producer. The magic number for the Jays to win the AL East in the last week of the season is 4. They have a 2-game lead on the Yankees. Jays, they have the night off, as does most of Major League Baseball. They begin a series. Their final actually, no, they play all their final games at home, um, against the Red Sox on Tuesday. So they've got the Red Sox for 3, the Rays for 3, and I remind you, the Yankees, who are hot on their heels, have the White
Oh.
Sox and the Orioles.
It's pretty simple for the Jays. Just win both series, 2 out of 3. That's all you need to do. You won the division at that point. Here's a question for you, Dan.
Yes, I like
Scherzer,
questions.
yeah, is Scherzer out of the starting rotation at this point?
Well, they just moved Barrios to the pen, so now they're sticking with Scherzer, although he got shellacked
Again,
in the first inning against the Royals. The Scherzer we had become accustomed to, maybe the length of the season has gotten to him, but it was not pretty.
it was not pretty. The best pitching performance on Friday night came from an infielder, which was just, it's one of those things. Like, when that was happening, in hindsight, you're like, well, you might as well lose 20-1 and save the bullpen than lose another game 7-1 or something like that. That's not a great look going into clinching the playoff time, but I don't know. I don't know if they've made the right move with the pitching staff here. I don't know that Scherzer should still be starting games. Certainly not. Like, if they win 4 straight right now and want to have him start one of the last 2 or something, I don't think it's time for sentimental decision making. He has had very bad starts. What's that, 4 in a row now, where he's at least had one
He'll be on a
inning?
very short leash. They won't let it get to 7 runs if it happens again. I think they'll be like, "Okay, we gotta pull the plug on this now."
Yeah, I don't think they have a choice in this matter anymore.
So
The
technically, the Jays could clinch the AL East on Wednesday if they win. Yankees lose Tuesday. Yankees lose. Jays win on Wednesday. So they could have it wrapped up on Wednesday if everything goes their way.
Mhm. Yeah, or then there's the nightmare scenario that's playing out on TV right now, where Sportsnet has made that trade up to broadcast Apple TV's last week game. Producer Tim, can you correct me if I'm wrong about this? But there is a possibility that the Jays could clinch the division or the whole thing on Friday night when Sportsnet will not have access to that game. Correct?
That's the way it stands right now. Yeah.
Yikes.
That
Okay,
is not a
there's
good look.
there's
They got to
some
make another
backroom
deal.
deals.
They have to make another deal.
Yeah.
I
That would
Major
mean,
be a
League
disaster.
the reason why Apple TV is doing this game when it wasn't originally scheduled was because of the deal they made. So
Yeah.
how do you make another deal? Like it's the last week of the season, and Apple may be out of business, the baseball business after this year. How do you make a deal then? I mean, because the Jays are really important to Apple TV because it's a national
Money
audience.
changes
Yeah, for
hands. That's how
sure.
you make a deal.
Yeah, you make a deal with money,
The
basically.
amount they will make in advertising dollars will pay for what they would have to pay Apple TV. There'll
Just
be
wait.
8 million people watching games all this week.
Or all of the highlight shows are going to be sponsored by the show Severance for the next 12 months.
Well, I mean, even like last week, the Dodgers were the second half of that doubleheader on Friday, and that
Yeah,
was Clayton Kershaw's last game at Dodger Stadium,
sure.
and that was on Apple TV.
That's a big moment too, right? A lot of people
Yeah.
tuned into
Let's
that.
hope it doesn't come to that.
I hope not.
Kyle, you know what I love to do is talk about people when they hit the nail on the head. And our own Todd Furman on this show Friday, I always ask him who he would take in a survivor pool week after week. So I said the Packers, that'd be a pick, right? Um, I said the Packers, and who else did I say? And I said let me find it here. The other one I said, I'll get to it in a second. But the Packers, I said, that's an easy pick over the Browns. He said, nope, I would not make that my selection because the Browns are better than people say they are. And what do the Browns do? They go and beat the Packers 13-10.
Yeah, and he was making that pick simply on the spread itself, which they more than easily covered by winning the game. They were 8-point dogs in that game. Their defense put on a tremendous performance. Our producer of this show, Big Z, must have been elated because he's a Browns guy for whatever self-torture reasons. And just a tremendous pick by Todd on what had to have been one of the weirdest covers, weirdest finishes. Week 3 in the NFL was absolutely batty, and we have a great Monday nighter tonight, but some of the results yesterday
Oh,
were
I
just
found the other one. I said, and you would take the Bucks over the Jets. He goes, no, wouldn't take that one either. And the Bucks barely beat the Jets
barely
29-27.
beat the Jets. So I believe the Jets also covered that spread as well because I think it was 2.5 or 3. It was just I don't know what's happening in the NFL anymore, and I do like a little football wager here and there. My Bet Rivers account was not super kind to me yesterday when it came to the NFL picks. Did you see the way the Eagles covered the spread on their second blocked field goal of the game with no time on the clock, and a big man runs the ball back when they were up by 2? The spread was 2.5. They block the field goal. Big man picks it up, runs it to the end zone to cover the spread with a huge comeback victory in that game. It was
Big
just
men
bananas.
making plays. That's what
It's
football's all about. You mentioned the
yeah,
Monday nighter Ravens and Lions, and I talked to Todd about this. He said, I would not take the under because I only take overs. The over was the biggest total of the weekend, and that is 53.5 in the Monday nighter tonight between the Lions and Ravens. I love that. I love
yeah.
when the bookmakers, the line makers know there's going to be a big total.
I just don't see how there couldn't be. That seems fair tonight. The Lions are a bit less predictable than they were last year, but they opened it up last week, and the Ravens are the Ravens. They're going to run the ball. They're going to demonstrate the most athletic quarterback in the NFL in his full arsenal. That should be an absolutely fantastic game. Easy to watch. The Jays aren't on tonight for
Yes.
us. So high scoring Monday nighter. That's what I want to. I want this game to be 35-28. I don't want a defensive struggle. I don't want to see 20-16 or anything like that. Open it up. Open it up.
The best thing about taking an over, not that I have to sell people on this. You are cheering for points. You are
Yes.
cheering for every single big play. You are cheering for both teams. You're cheering for excitement.
Yeah. I am similarly geared to you. I hate taking the unders.
Oh, the unders the worst. No, they're close. They're close. You're cheering for a 3-0 game. You're cheering for a Browns-Packers game.
Yeah, don't be good at your job. Don't do your thing correctly. Don't provide me with entertainment. Fourth down stops can be fun, but it's more fun when the game's tied at 35.
And correct me if I'm wrong. The purists who say, I love a 13-10 football game. I'm like, no, you don't.
Okay.
I can see you liking a 1-0 baseball game. That's completely different. But a 13-10 football game, I don't get the joy. A baseball game, you're seeing a pitcher's duel. You're seeing a defensive battle.
Yes.
It's like a chess match. In football, it's like, no, this, especially if you're there in attendance at a 13-10 game, you're like, when is this over?
Yeah, it just means the quarterbacks weren't very good. That's all. That's all it means. They couldn't find open receivers, and you look at the way the Eagles played yesterday. Like they have not. Barkley has not even come close to performing the way he did last year because they've been telegraphing the run game, and that's why they had no points in the first half. You could see it every time they were calling plays, and that's what happens in low-scoring football games. Is the defense is simply responding to the lack of creativity of the offense. Give me a Bills-Ravens game, and hopefully tonight a Ravens-Lions game any day of the week over a defensive struggle. Though, hey, happy for Cleveland fans because I thought Green Bay was the cream of the crop in the NFL, and losing to Cleveland, I don't care how well they played. That's embarrassing.
Kyle says in our rundown here, Matthews, Auston Matthews. Do we have news? Do we have a quote?
I can speak to that because I just spoke to Pierre Maguire about it on Maguire Monday, which will be coming out later today. And hey, if you like the hockey content in Toronto Sports Rush, EJ Raddick has quite the show coming out tomorrow. He'll be talking to Larry Murphy, but back to Auston Matthews, not talking about Larry Murphy. He'll be talking to him, maybe about him. I don't know how that's going to go because I'm not involved with that. Auston Matthews got very stern with the media, and he flat out laid it out for them in spring training. He's been much more forceful and said, hey, you guys have 2 more weeks to ask questions about Mitchie Marner, as he calls him. Mitchie, that's kind of cute. 2 more weeks, and then we're done with this. And you can see it annoying him, which is one thing, but I also kind of like that stern approach and go, guys, he's not on this hockey team anymore, Toronto media. Get over it. Like, stop living in the past. We're moving forward with something different. And he's been very direct. He said it multiple times, and he was quite forceful about it yesterday. So
I did see Auston Matthews' news conference, but it was AI generated, and he was dropping F-bombs in relation to Mitch Marner.
Whatever channel that is my favorite Instagram. I think we've shared those before. It's so funny with it's funny too because he's American, but they put all the Canadian hockey slang on them, which he's been here long enough. He could easily adopt that. I think they should just air those. Like the team, MLSE should air those and say, this is actually who this guy is. And if you don't like it, then bugger off, eh?
The AI, where it's come from to where it is now is absolutely phenomenal. Even with your editing of photos, my daughter, before she went off to university, she's like, yeah, I had a problem with the vehicle. And she sent me a picture of the front of our vehicle destroyed and on fire. If I was like a little old lady, I'd be like, oh no. But the fact that she was able to do that in like 1 minute to have that generated, and people have to pause and watch these news conferences in which the athletes, obviously it's not their voices, but you have to check it for a second, say, oh, okay. They kind of go too far in the language. They're like, okay, you lost me at that. You had me there for 20 seconds.
Yes.
And then you're dissecting. Well, its lips don't look real. I'm on to you, AI.
A lot of fingers.
Yeah, it's always the fingers.
It's always, although they've corrected for most of that, though. I'll say this, and I am not one of these people, but if you happen to be the type of person who enjoys messing around with the elderly, now is your time. This is the greatest moment in history if you are the type of person who likes confusing and tricking the elderly. AI is your best friend.
Yeah, that's Z's bag of goods. He's big into the elderly. Kyle, on that note, I'll see you here Wednesday,
Yes.
and we'll be talking potential Blue Jays clinching the AL East on that morning.
Juicy. It'd be exciting. At least, though, at the very least, let's hope they're a little bit closer. We got Boston's not been playing well. They should sweep them. That's my thoughts.
A little bit closer, or exactly, yeah, if they're exactly where they are right now, 2 games, you're looking good.
Absolutely. If they can just maintain this, they'll be fine.
Yeah.